Well, hello, advanced watchers, listeners. We are John,
Brandon,
and we are your advanced weekly update team. There is a lot going on in the world. One of the things is COVID-19. For those of you that haven't heard of COVID-19, where have you been? So we're talking today about getting sick and what you can do to prevent sickness. Preventing is a good word. You can prevent or try to prevent all kinds of things. Preventing something means?
Well, you don't want it, so you do something to try to not get it.
Exactly.
All right, so you want to prevent yourself from getting sick. Of course, we can't always do that, but there are some things we can try to do to help with that.
Yes. So to prevent things, you take precautions. Precautions, it's right there in the word. Pre means before. So if something is pre-history, it means before recorded history. And precautions means before something is a big problem, you have a lot of caution and you do something about it. Caution means well, how would you describe caution?
Well,
being
if you're
careful.
right. If you're cautious, you are being careful, right? So you're careful not to do something, right? Maybe you're, with regards to sickness, you're careful not to go outside with your hair wet. Although we found in one of our articles that that is a myth. So I don't know, that we can debate that too. But anyway, you do certain things or you don't do certain things in order for something not to happen, right?
So what are some precautions for getting sick? I can think of one, wearing a mask, to try to keep viruses from spreading, or
maybe taking vitamins, vitamin C. I like to take vitamin C sometimes. If I'm not feeling quite great, I'll take some vitamin C.
Now, vitamin C has to do with your immune system. You probably know that word. Immune, I-M-M-U-N-E. It means the part of your body that helps defend from infection, and it's very, very important. If your immune system is weak, it means it's easier to get sick. What's something else you can do? You can do lifestyle precautions.
Right.
Eating healthy,
exercising
enough,
right? Getting enough sleep. Wow, there we go. We're on point.
I don't know if it's okay to share, but Brandon is going to be losing a lot of sleep soon.
Why?
Well, I don't want to break the news for you.
I'm having a baby, right? In just a couple of weeks, Lord willing. So I will probably not get a lot of sleep, or it will be broken up at different times of the day. But that's coming, and so getting enough sleep is important, though. I realize that more and more.
Me too. Sometimes you don't sleep well, and you feel a little bit sick in the morning.
And it just gives you more energy, right? So good sleep. And actually, I've noticed this, John, when I've gotten a cold, like if I just go home and rest, I recover much faster.
It's so true, getting that good sleep, and we'll explain why that works in just a second. But let's go to our question for today, and we would really love your feedback. We want to hear your stories, practice your English. We are your teachers. We won't judge you. We just love to hear how you're doing. We have a question for you. Does your family have any secrets to staying healthy? Please share. So
let us know your secrets. We can add them to our secrets. I don't know if I have any secrets. But
I have one family secret from my grandpa, and it has to do with sleep. He said when he was a young man and he was in college, he would, if he felt his body getting sick, he would go into a sweat lodge where you can sit at the gym and sweat. There are
like
hot
a sauna.
A sauna. There we go, sauna.
Yeah.
He'd go into the sauna, he'd work up a good sweat, and then he would run back home sweating, wrap himself up in a blanket, and drink a little bit of whiskey. And then he'd kind of fight the fever. So, by the way, that's...
Did it work?
It did when he was young. He didn't die.
So it worked.
So anyway, I'm not saying that you should do that, but that was his family secret. Do you have any family?
I don't have anything like that, but I wish I did, because that makes for a really cool story. Probably, I don't know, we eat chicken noodle soup. That's a lot of people in the Western society do that. I would always like to have chicken noodle soup or vegetable soup or something like that, and maybe like a grilled cheese sandwich. I'm pretty sure that does nothing for your health, but it's comfort food. So that's something.
I love that word. Okay, so comfort food. The word comfort food is an English phrase, and it means the food that not only tastes good, but it's good for your heart. It's like the food from your home country.
It reminds you of something in the past that makes you happy, right?
Yeah. So my wife is from Taiwan. While we were living in the U.S., she would always want her comfort foods.
Which was?
Different things, baozi and stuff like that. So let's do our poll here. But first, Alan, keeping a balanced diet and lifestyle. Sure. Alan, great use of the word balanced. If anything is balanced, it means it doesn't go too far one way or the other. You don't want to eat too many salty foods. You need to keep a balanced lifestyle.
Balance it with the sweets, the salty and the sweet. No, just kidding.
Sweet
That's probably not the right balance you're going for.
Sophie also points out her dad drinks green tea and a handful of nuts every day. Both of those are supposed to be great for your brain.
I love green tea. I drink it most every day as well.
Really?
Yeah.
That's why you're so smart.
Absolutely. No, that's not true. But we do have a poll, don't we, John?
Let's do our poll question.
All right.
So we want to hear how you think about getting sick. How worried are you about getting sick or injured? Are you always worried? You think about it all the time. Are you usually worried? That means most of the time. Or are you sometimes worried? You sometimes think about it. Or are you never worried? You don't ever think about getting sick? Agatha, so we'd love to hear your poll answers. Agatha says, my mom cooks ginger soup with brown sugar for us every day. That sounds wonderful. The sweetness helps the ginger flavor come out. And ginger is great for your immune system.
Yeah, I love a hot ginger tea during the wintertime. Oh. That's the best.
Right? I want one right now. Yeah. That sounds great. So we'd love to hear more of your stories. And it looks like the poll is coming in somewhere in the middle. Usually worried and sometimes worried are exactly even. So we need one more person to vote. I think I'm sometimes worried. I think about it more with COVID.
Yeah, me
don't
too.
You?
Yeah, I've thought about it a lot more. Then after getting COVID, I don't worry about it as much now.
Yeah, it's like the first you experience it.
Right, because you don't know what to expect, and then we've been dealing with it longer, so we have some history with it now, so that's good. Yeah. So I don't worry about it as much. I think in the wintertime, I'm more concerned about it, about getting a cold or something like that.
True, yeah, and with kids, you think about it a lot too. Well, friends, we are excited that you have been interacting with this question. I know I have one more strategy that I've heard, a family secret, to take a really, really hot bath right at the beginning of getting sick. And it's kind of like experiencing a fever early on, where your whole body heats up and hopefully it kind of cooks whatever's sick in there. I don't know if that's necessarily the scientific way.
Enjoy a nice bath anyway, right?
Yeah, so it's relaxing. So that's good. Okay, so now let's talk a little bit about different experiences. When we talk about the pandemic, I've been hearing this phrase a lot. Maybe you have if you read the English news, COVID fatigue. Can you explain that word, fatigue?
I think it probably means you're tired of dealing with this pandemic, the COVID pandemic, because it's been going on for almost 3 years, right? You're tired, you're tired of reading news about it. You're tired of getting reports about it. You're tired of, you just want to move on.
So not a physical tired as much, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you have COVID, you probably will feel that fatigue, and so that's that's a big part of that. But I think what you're referring to is you're tired of hearing about this sickness because we've heard it so much. You're ready to move on.
Right. And it's easier said than done. That's another English phrase. If something is easier said than done, it means it's easy to talk about getting over COVID, but the reality is it's complicated. So we're hoping that you all are safe over there.
Alan says, I am sometimes worried about your health when you suffer from sleep deprivation. I feel the same way. Like if you go a few days without sleep, Alan, like you start to think it's easier for you to get sick. Your immune system is down, and so that's a really good point to like make sure you take care of your body and sleep enough if possible.
Absolutely. I found that it not only affects your physical health, but my mental health is normally not as good when I've not slept well. It's easier to be irritable or grumpy.
I have like a foggy brain.
Yeah, it's hard to think as clearly.
Like you're not as sharp.
Yeah. So I pray that God gives you good sleep. If you suffer from insomnia, Insomnia means you do not sleep. Somnia is from the Latin somnum, to sleep, I believe.
This means you don't get enough sleep. You have trouble falling asleep or trouble sleeping. So that is rough.
You're tossing and turning. Have you ever had insomnia and it's affected your health at different times?
You might be able to say that. I have trouble sleeping or falling asleep sometimes because I'm just thinking about lots of things. And so that's really frustrating. You just want to go to sleep and you want to just turn your brain off like a computer, but it doesn't always work.
Not always, especially if you've got work and so sometimes having a warm drink like warm milk can
chamomile
help.
Tea. I like to have a nice cup of hot chamomile tea to help me sort of relax, right?
Yeah.
I think another thing is to sort of start winding down earlier in the evenings and not like doing a lot of things that stimulate you right up until you go to bed, and then it's hard to fall asleep.
Yeah, I like that phrase, winding down. You might have heard the phrase winding up. A pitcher would wind up before they throw the ball. So if you wind up, it means you get more excited. And if you wind down, you could say the party was winding down as people left. It means the energy is going down.
Absolutely. So, well, I think we're almost out of time, John. Do we have one more comment?
Well, Sophie points out truthfully that getting sick or injured on a trip is the worst situation. I have to agree, Sophie. I broke my collarbone in Costa Rica one time in the waves, and the whole rest of the week I'm limping around with a sharp pain in a little sling. So
that's rough. Yeah,
you want to watch your health.
If you're going on a trip soon, be extra careful, right?
Luna's mom is by the textbook. She says, my mom just does what we see in the textbook, balanced diet and go to bed early, and she's still healthy now.
Right.
Wonderful. Yeah, you can always take good tips from people that are actually living long and healthy.
Absolutely.
All right, friends. Well, we pray that God blesses you. Luna also adds, thank you, sister. I think it's hard to follow because I always give in to the temptation of sweets and entertainment at nighttime. Luna, I'm right there with you. It's a relaxing time. The kids are in bed, and it's easy to watch a movie.
You just want a bowl of ice cream.
Yeah. Well, I might go get a bowl of ice cream, but
I love cookies and cream.
Yeah.
I want cookies and cream ice cream. Thank you.
That's a delicious ice cream. Well, Luna, we're there with you, sister. We appreciate all of you joining us today. If you haven't already, hit subscribe, get your friends. It helps us. But we will be back next time on Advanced Weekly Update.
Don't forget to join, become a member. It's only 150 NT per month.
That's right.
Click join.
Yeah, if you join, you get special access to more English content. So if you're hoping to learn more materials or just have a little bit more advanced content during your week, it's a great way to do it. And it really helps us out as we produce our magazine. So thank you.
Thanks, guys. See you next Monday.
Have a good one. Have a safe week and stay healthy. We're praying for you.